rock. I got my own guitar, I know the chords. I play my cigar, laying flat on the floor. The east and the west, their battles won't matter. Only the music can settle the score. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die alone, then turning to bone. So rock till you die. Yeah, bones reflecting my eyes, and when they eat my flesh, but I got the power to win all the hours to rock my life away. The sound of the crowd, the creak of the bones, I play it so loud with my mates or alone. It don't really matter if my world should shatter. I'll hold it together till I turn to stone. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die alone, then turn into bone. So rock till you die.
2 minutes.
Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die alone, then turn into bone. So rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die alone, then turn back to bone. So rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die alone, then turn into bone. So rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die.
Hello there, Matthew J. Elliott here, taking time out from doing British things like correcting people's grammar and, well, that's it really, to congratulate you, the listener, for selecting the True Blue Riffcast. Yes, you could have picked any one of the thousands of RiffTrax themed podcasts on the web, but your perspicacity led you to seek out the #1 RiffTrax podcast, and for that, you shall be commended. Now, I'm going to turn you over to your hosts, Dave and Jeremy, and I shall board a flight back to England without even so much as the boxed lunch I'd been promised.
Thank you, Matthew J. Elliott. This is the True Blue Riffcast, the #1 RiffTrax podcast in the world. I am Jeremy, and as always, I'm joined by...
Sup, everyone? I'm Dave. How are you?
How's it going, Dave?
It's going fantastic. We took a week off, but we're back
Yep.
now.
We're back now. Everything's back up and running, and we've got lots of fun things to talk about today, including
Yeah, we
Money
do.
Plane.
Money Plane.
Oh, that was an
something
experience
else,
watching
wasn't it?
that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We also have a quite bit of an older release here that we're going to be talking about. Dragon Wars D-War. And
Yes, that release is 12 years old.
yes. And a recently released short, Keep Off the Grass. We got all that to talk about today. Oh, but first, we had DC Fandom this weekend.
Oh, no.
And that brought with it all
no.
kinds of stuff. We got our first look at the Flash movie, which weirdly enough, mostly featured the voice of Michael Keaton, which we knew he was coming back as Batman in that.
Yeah.
But that was kind of cool.
I haven't seen that one yet.
I think that was probably the most exciting one for me.
Okay.
Just Michael Keaton. That was my Batman growing up. So then we had some stuff for Black Adam, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
And Pierce Brosnan is in that one playing Dr. Fate, which I thought was kind of interesting. And they've got Hawkman and a couple other people I don't really remember. What else did we get? We got a look at Shazam 2, where we got to see some footage of Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu playing the villains in that movie. Mm-hmm. And then we got the one that people won't shut up about.
This is the only one that I've seen.
The Batman. Starring the vampire himself, Robert Pattinson. It's funny because that news goes all the way back to like our first episode.
I think episode 0 is when we were talking about it, and I think we both defended the choice.
Yeah, and you know what? Honestly,
of Robert Pattinson,
I still stand behind that, even after seeing the trailer. Because overall, with everything else in the trailer, I wasn't a fan of, but all the stuff with Batman was okay.
Robert Pattinson, I don't think is the problem.
No.
The problem is that this movie looks so stupid.
Yeah, it doesn't look that great.
Like, almost everything about it makes me want to hurl. And, like, I know that, like, a lot, like, I know I'm infamous for many things in the RiffTrax fandom. And one of them is that I'm one of the only defenders of Batman versus Superman.
This is true.
And I'll tell you what. After seeing this trailer for the Batman, I stand by it. It's like Batman versus Superman, way better than whatever this is going to be.
Yeah.
It's.
Some of it looks okay. Some of it looks okay. We were talking about this earlier, or maybe it was yesterday even. I don't remember exactly, but we were talking about some of the shots.
When we talk about things.
No, some of the shots were pretty decent. Like, I really liked the shot at the end of the trailer where the Penguin was flipped over in his car, and just the shot of being upside down with Batman walking toward him. I thought that was a really nice shot, and I think the suit looks pretty good from what we've seen of it. And that's pretty much all the praise I have for that.
The Batmobile looks stupid as hell.
It's a lifted muscle car. That's all it is.
But surprisingly, Robert Pattinson is not the problem. I thought maybe I was gonna. I mean, like, we don't know very much. I mean, of course, you know what? I feel like, after Batman and Robin, infamous Batman and Robin movie, 1997, there was a hiatus of Batman movies for a long time.
Yeah,
I feel like we kind of need that a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean, like after, I won't say Batman versus Superman, but I'll say, the backlash against Batman versus Superman. I think maybe there needs to be a
somebody in the chat just redeemed the I'm Batman thing, so I got to put the mask on.
Nice. But I kind of feel like we need a mental reset. We don't need to see the origin story again. I think that's one thing. I think that's one thing that Batman versus Superman did right, even though we did see his parents get murdered. I mean, but whatever. But they didn't do. They didn't hit the reset button on Batman. And Ben Affleck, who was a very good Batman, I don't care what anybody says. I will argue. Like, people can get mad at me. I'll argue with every single one of them. He was an outstanding Batman.
I think he was fine as Batman.
People will tell me like their criticisms of Batman versus Superman, and I've heard criticisms of Batman versus Superman many, many times, and I've asked people to explain to me why they hate it so much, and they will go on and on and on. And the thing is, I don't ever retain any of it. like people.
It's kind of par for the course for you, though.
Like Martha, people think Martha's stupid. I thought that was pretty cool. But it's just like my eyes will like glaze over, and it's kind of like a dream where like you wake up and you're like, okay, what did they say They just said it 5 minutes ago, and I don't remember. I don't remember what people tell me when they tell me Batman versus Superman sucks so much. So it must not be.
Kind of tune them out.
Yeah, But anyway, this thing just looks awful.
We got what else did we get? They showed some footage of the new Gotham Knights game coming out where Batman is dead and you're playing as Robin, Batgirl, Nightwing, and Red Hood. So basically all of the Robins. And Batgirl.
All the Robins.
But it looks pretty good. It looks like it'll be, like along the lines of like Arkham Asylum or whatever, which was a pretty fun Batman game. And
they showed what's his name, Batman Beyond.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I still think we need a Batman Beyond movie. I would watch that, but I don't know who I would want them to cast.
That's what Michael Keaton was supposed to be Batman for in the live action version of that. That would have been awesome. But
yeah, that would be great if they brought him in.
He's going to be in. What's that Flash movie called? Flash? Is it Flashpoint?
No, it's just called The Flash, but it's based off of.
Is it based off? It looks like
it's based off of Flashpoint Paradox, which was where he went back and saved his mom, and then screwed everything up, and it was
it's a
Thomas
great big
Wayne.
DC. Yeah. It's a great big DC event that set up the New 52.
Yeah,
I've actually
which
read
is part of the reason why I hate it, because I hate
the
New 52.
You hate it?
Oh, I hate the New 52 with a passion.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
That was when I stopped reading DC.
Oh, really? That's when I started reading DC. That's when it got great. That's when I could jump in and be like, okay, well, and not just have to and consult the Wikipedia on
to know whatever
whatever.
Was,
it's just no, dude, it was impenetrable before the New 52. So if you wanted to get in comics you hadn't been in it since 1985, you were screwed. They did
I definitely
not
get that.
care.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I understand that for sure. But I was one of the people that was in reading it, so I hated that they hit the big reset button and changed everying. I wasn't a fan.
Well,
of it.
They did it again. I mean, they did the whole rebirth thing. I'm not a fan of. It's just
didn't they bring back the old stuff, kind of?
Yeah,
and,
no,
sort
of. Yeah, no, they did this. They did this crazy thing where they killed the New 52 Superman, sort of, where he crumbled to ash, and Earth Prime Superman came and took his place. But
that's weird.
Yeah, it's definitely. But then their souls merged.
What?
And there was this whole. Yeah, no, it's very strange. You got the sense that Jeff Johns and everyone at DC were well, we miss the old continuity. Let's see if we can try to bring it back a little bit, not just leave it alone because all this other stuff just doesn't seem to matter, even though it still exists. Blah blah blah.
That sounds even worse.
You could tell that they wanted it. They wanted it back. You could tell they wanted it back. Ugh. But it's no, bro. You guys hit the reset button. You can't do that.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
But it's
and now we have everybody losing their mind over Superman's son, which we're not going to get into on here because, but the news that came out.
Oh, are you talking about that news about? Okay, yeah, let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
Look, man, I haven't been in a comic book store since 2019, and from what I understand, that was a great time to get out of it because apparently it's awful now.
Yeah.
Apparently it's real bad.
I haven't read any comics in years.
Yeah,
I just have not had any interest in it.
I was eyeball deep in it for 8 years, man. Yeah, it was crazy, and now I'm not. That's something I miss out of my life. But apparently it's not the best time to go back.
Yeah. That's what I keep hearing.
But anyway, we're not here to talk about comics.
No, we're here to talk about movies. So let's go take a look at our friend of the podcast, James Wen's official Movie Head Pictures Twitter page, because there's a couple things on here.
Yeah.
The first one is the big one. Alan Baugh coming back as Rod in Pandemic 3.
Yep.
Which is probably the only interesting thing about this movie.
Yeah, no. There is another thing. James Wan offered Whitney Moore $1,000 to come back to reprise her role as Natalie, and
she
I guess
said
she didn't take
no.
it. She said no. Apparently, I mean, we're surmising that she said no because there's other news.
Yes, the other news is that Victoria, and I'm sure Brandart, I don't know if I'm saying that right or not, she's playing Katie Brandart, Brandart. That's her last name. She's playing Katie, and she is Rod's new girlfriend in Birdemic 3. So, yeah.
Yeah, so...
We're guessing that Natalie is not going to be anywhere in this movie.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a Transformers 3 thing. So she's like... Whitney Moore is like Birdemic's Megan Fox. Where it'd be like where they just like broke up off screen, or we were having a discussion about this earlier before the show that maybe she got Beckied.
Yeah, she got Beckied.
Like maybe that would be like she was out taking a dump in between Birdemics, and the birds finally got her off screen. That's how they killed. Well, number one, that's how they killed presidents in between seasons of 24.
Yeah.
They just kill them off screen.
Off screen.
But also, that's how they kill off main protagonists in between Final Destination movies, because
it's always somebody different the next movie.
Yeah, because the guy was like the main guy in the first Final Destination movie. Like, I think it's in it's in like the special edition DVD or something like that. There's like a newspaper clip where he got killed by a falling brick in between movies. So death finally got him.
We didn't even get to see it. Come on.
Yeah. Pop quiz. What's the best death? What's the best death in the first Final Destination?
Oh, jeez. I've watched a bunch of them, and I don't even remember which ones are from which one now. Somebody like get hit by a bus? Like,
yes,
they're we're clear of the curse. We're not going to die now. And just bam.
She was saying to be like, you guys are something. I can't remember. It was literally 21 years ago. And then like out of nowhere, she got hit by a bus.
Yeah, I just remember it came out of nowhere.
It came out of nowhere. That's the best. That is the best death in the whole Final Destination franchise. It's just like, oh. It was great.
Was the first one the one where the guy, there was like a metal sign on train tracks or something, and like the train went over it and it flung it up and it like sliced the dude's head in half?
I don't remember. Like I said, it's been a long time.
I know that's from one of them.
Thing. Yeah.
And I remember somebody getting squished by like a thing of plate glass that like landed on him.
The teacher died in the bathtub. I do remember that.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah, jeez. That's pretty disturbing.
Anyway, let's talk about some other movies that have some disturbing stuff in them, like Halloween Kills. That's number one at the box office.
Jamie Lee Curtis is 70 years old.
Yeah. Now I guess there's some pretty gross-looking deaths in that movie. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't had the time. Although I can watch it at home because it's on Peacock, and it still made over $50 million in the theaters.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
So you can watch it at home for free. I mean, as long as you have this, this subscription. But yeah, people still went over $50 million that movie made at opening weekend. That's pretty good it just shows that people want to be back in theaters.
Yeah, people want to go back to the movies. Yeah.
No Time to Die at second place. It had a 56% drop off from the first week.
I heard some things about that, and I am not going to go see it.
I haven't heard anything about it, and I just don't have any interest anymore.
There's a plot point that was spoiled for me, and I was just like, nope, don't like that, and not going to see it. It's nothing to do with like the alleged politics of the movie. We don't talk about that here.
Yeah.
But I heard something happens, and I was just like, well, I don't want to see that. That's dumb. I'm not seeing this movie.
Venom, Let There Be Carnage in third place, still with its deep slide from a couple weeks ago. It went down almost 60% after the first week, and now it went down almost another 50%. Addams Family 2 in at fourth place, and The Last Duel bringing in fifth place there. That's the one with Adam Driver and Matt Damon, where they're like French noblemen or something.
Where's Shang-Chi?
That's right after The Last Duel.
Okay, because I actually finally saw that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How'd you feel about it?
Spoilers for Shang-Chi. I kind of want to know why Asgard had to be destroyed and that dumbass Chinese place gets to exist with all its fake-ass lions and whatever the hell else is going on there.
I enjoyed it. I love martial arts films, wuxia.
Well,
stuff,
I mean, that's all this was.
Brought it, and it was very well done. The fight choreography was beautiful in this movie.
Yeah, it was. No, it was definitely very, very, very martial arts centric, and that's like the one big thing
it's Shang-Chi. I mean, it's the master martial arts.
It has going for it. It has I do have to say, it has the Jar Jar Binks of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in it, with the story with the. No, absolutely not. No,
not even Trevor.
No, it's like I don't. Well, okay. Look, they didn't need to crap all over Iron Man 3 in this movie. There's no need for all that. But no. The person I wanted to punch in her face was Katie, and I'm like,
Aquafina. Yeah,
I thought she was awful.
I can understand that. I didn't feel the same way, but I definitely do understand that because I was worried that that's how I was going to feel about it going into the movie. But thankfully I didn't. It wasn't as annoying as I expected.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Not my favorite. Not the worst.
Yeah, I think that's all we got for box office, because we're kind of through everything. Welcome to the part in the podcast where everything grinds to a halt, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, everything just like grinds to a halt because we're horrible at transition.
We always have at least one spot that we always get
like, I love to talk. But sometimes I just run out of stuff to say.
Let's get some new topics to talk about, and let's take a look at today's short review of RiffTrax shorts. Yes. For today's short review of RiffTrax shorts, we are taking a look at the short "Keep Off the Grass," which was recently released. It was maybe a couple months ago that it came out. But this is an anti-marijuana short film from the 60s. Another one? Yeah, this one was very interesting because they didn't just flat out come out and say marijuana is bad, completely bad, and you shouldn't do it. They do kind of do that, but they also talk about how it's not comparable to alcohol and tobacco because they just don't know enough about it yet as what it'll do. There are some pros and there are some cons.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not like Reefer Madness where you're gonna murder your girlfriend.
No, this is a lot
you go
tamer
to jail
than
for the
Reefer
rest
Madness.
of your life.
Yeah. This one is about Tom, who they say in the official description for this one that he's your typical 35-year-old teenager. And this guy looks like Eric Estrada and Mark Hamill playing the teenage versions of themselves in Earth Angel. That's how convincing he is as a teenager. But it starts off with his parents, his mom's cleaning the house, and she knocks over a box on top of a TV, and it's got some joints in it. And so Dad decides that he needs to have a little talk with Tom, and he goes over and he's sitting there telling him about how bad it is to smoke, to do marijuana, and as he's lighting up a cigarette. And Tom's just like, hang on now. Cigarettes are going to give you cancer. And alcohol will destroy your liver. Well, and they say there's, what is it? I have it written down. Little is known about marijuana. And Kevin makes a great joke about people don't know whether to smoke it or to rub it on their sore legs. And,
what?
Well, because of the CBD oil and stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's a quote. This is just a straight quote from the short. Every time you blow a marijuana cigarette, you take a chance on blowing your future.
Oh.
And from that point on, they refer to it as blowing marijuana. So that's my big problem that I have with this short, because they really needed to just stop, because it's very uncomfortable when they say you're going to blow pot or blow marijuana, or they say it a lot, like a lot.
I take it that is not the correct vernacular. I don't know.
I don't know, but
I don't blow pot. I don't. That's not a thing that I'm into.
Yeah, me either. So, but I'm fairly certain that's not in anybody's terminology for getting high.
Yeah.
Tom goes to a head shop, or as they call it, a pot smoker's supermarket. And he talks to the guy there, and he's like, "Oh yeah, everybody does it, and it's all like the good artists are doing it." And so
that's
he's like,
not
"Yeah,
true.
there's a local artist here who made all these posters that you love so much." And they're like, "Oh yeah, let's go see him." So they go to go see.
I bet they all look like shit.
Yeah, they do. That's kind of a plot point to this, but they go see the poster artist named Waco, and his wife Bunny.
Oh, come on!
On the way out of the store, there's like a group of like 4 potheads, and they ask Tom if he has any spare change, and then he remembers his dad saying that you lose all self-respect when you smoke pot.
They ask if you have spare change. What?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me ask you this: was this short? Because I haven't seen it. Is this short like the hippies in it? Because you know that show Dragnet, right?
Yes.
Okay, now in Dragnet, their policy was they wouldn't actually hire like hippies or people with like long hair.
Yeah.
To play like the drug dealers and stuff like that. So you had all these like total narcs with like short hair, people who in like the 1950s and 60s absolutely 10,000% would not be on drugs.
Yeah.
Just like these total straight arrows be like yes, I'm on the drugs. Is that like that here?
No, there are some that have long hair. Okay. Waco does, and Waco also has a
Waco,
as they call it, a Harry Knowles beard. Because they say, oh, the only person who can do the Harry Knowles beard is Harry Knowles. But the Bunny's brother gets arrested, and so they all go out to yell at the cops. And this tells me that this was produced by a police department. It says something about human resources, but because they talk about look at how level-headed the police officer stays, even as he's getting yelled at by all of these people. He never loses his cool once. Oh, man. So they follow the cop back to the precinct to get Bunny's brother out of jail. He actually had like a normal name. It was like Justin or Josh or Jack or something. I didn't write it down, so I don't remember, even though I literally just watched this like an hour ago. So Tom learns a little bit more about smoking pot at the police station from one of the police officers who talks with him in a completely open and casual manner.
It's like,
That's how they describe it.
He's not beating him to death and like planting evidence on him.
No.
Like, tell us where Brian Laundrie is.
No. These are good cops. But he learns that smoking pot is like throwing sand in a machine and hoping that nothing bad happens.
What?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Makes no kind of sense.
And then he goes and he hangs out at a pot party.
A pot party.
Yeah, and one of the guys kind of looks like Austin Powers, so they make a few Austin Powers jokes, which was kind of interesting to see in 2021. But
what Austin Powers references?
Yeah,
Austin Powers is the most '90s thing. Like, it's like such a warped view of the '70s through the lens of the '90s.
Yeah. He goes to the pot party. He leaves the pot party after he decides he doesn't want to blow any pot. And he gets mugged when he's walking home. And that pot leads to criminal activities. You hear that in the background from the police officer. And so he decides that he's going to be done with grass. And they mentioned blowing pot like 5 more times within the last couple minutes, and that's the end of the show.
Nice.
It was good. It was a really good short. It makes it makes Reefer Madness look, like how you doing, fellow children,
It's like hello, fellow children.
Yeah.
Hello, fellow teenagers.
Or as Double Agent 08 in the chat puts it, hello, fellow pot smokers.
Hello.
It's very yes. So that's Keep Off the Grass.
Keep Off the Grass by RiffTrax. Or RiffTrax, yes. Like probably like $1.99 or 99 cents or something.
Yeah, it's 99 cents. It's one of the super cheap ones. It's not very long. It's like 11 minutes long or something like that. It's one of the shorter shorts.
The shorter shorts.
Shorter shorts. Yes, the short shorts.
Short shorts.
And so we're going to go from that onto a release from RiffTrax that came out October 5th, 2009, as Dave mentioned earlier, 12 whole years ago.
Yep.
And that is Dragon Wars D-War.
Okay, so I have I have a confession to make here. And this is going to make me sound like I'm woefully unprepared for the podcast, which I am. But surprisingly, my entire cable went out again at my house today. Right when I was downloading Dragon D Wars to prepare to watch for it for this podcast, and it hasn't been on all day. And it's Comcast is just like, well, we don't give a shit.
Of course not.
So, sorry, I haven't seen it. I mean, I have seen it, but I haven't seen it recently.
Yeah, considering it came out 12 years ago, and this is one that you really don't hear anybody talk about.
Yeah, it's
which is part of the reason why I picked this one, because
it's a deep cut, and I really wanted to be a part of the discussion because it's because of that reason, just because super #1 RiffTrax fans like us should know about this stuff, but I'm going to seem like a total noob while Jeremy talks all about it. So yeah. I just wanted to put that out there.
So this was a Korean film from 2007. So this was a very recent release at the time that they riffed this.
Yeah,
it only come out 2 years prior, which we don't normally get a lot of stuff like that for VODs.
Well, it wasn't a VOD at the time.
No, at the time this was
MP3,
just the jokes, but now it is a VOD. That's right, because I watched the VOD version of it this time around. Last time I watched the Just the Jokes version of it. And but this is oh my gosh, this is a terrible movie. Like it has some people in it that I recognized. There was a lot of names, like Craig Robinson is in this.
What?
He's like the co-worker of the main reporter dude. And Retta, the lady who plays Donna Meagle in Parks and Rec, is in this. She like is working at the desk at the hospital. And I mean, there's all these people that you're like, oh, hey, I recognize this person from this. There was one bit part in here that caught me completely by surprise, and I'm sure hardly anybody else in the world is going to recognize this guy for the same reasons that I recognize this guy. But there's a PlayStation 1 game. It's a full motion video game where it's all a movie, and you make choices on the go, like a Dragon's Lair type thing or whatever. Yeah. And it's called
your own adventure.
Yeah, it's called Psychic Detective, and it's about this guy who, as a psychic, can jump into other people's minds and like hitch a ride if they're close enough to him, and then he can see, their thoughts. He can see what they're doing, through their eyes and whatever. And that guy is in this movie.
Wow.
He's the photographer that runs into the police station and takes a picture of the girl that the reporter's looking for, because she took out these 3 muggers that were not actually taken out by her, but they didn't believe her because, young girl. Sorry, I'm opening my drink. But we start off.
Hey, can't do that. You can't do that on the podcast. That's unprofessional. Whatever. I try
like
to open
anything
a drink
about
on
us
the
is professional. Yeah.
Whenever I open a drink on the podcast, I get yelled at.
Well, now we can't edit the stuff, so it just kind of doesn't matter anymore.
Whatever.
The movie starts out with there's like a crater by the beach in L.A., and there's some guy yelling about, this is our land and you can't destroy it like this. And
God, one of those.
Yeah. And the FBI are there, and our plucky reporter, he crosses the police line, and they try and kick him out, but then they turn and walk away, so he just stands there with this little handheld digital video camera and takes some footage of them unearthing a dragon scale.
Really?
And it's got like a super amazing zoom on it. Like it's almost as if they actually used like a professional camera for the footage. But he goes back to this news station, and he's watching the video, and he's like, this is just like the story that I learned about 15 years ago. And then it cuts to 15 years ago where he's a little kid, and he goes into this antique shop with his dad, who's trying to sell this dagger for a couple $1,000, and the kid goes and opens this box, and he sees a scale, and like force lightning comes out and like surrounds the kid. And so the shop owner pretends to have a heart attack, so the dad will leave and go to this medicine shop and get the medicine for. Yeah, it's really dumb and convoluted. And as soon as the dad leaves the store,
heads.
Yeah. Nothing is that disturbing in this movie, thankfully. The guy goes to the kid, and he's like, "Oh, I've been waiting for you for all this time, and I thought you'd be taller." Because that's always the joke in these.
It's always like, I thought you'd be taller.
Yeah. And then he proceeds to tell them the story of both of their previous lives back in 500 years prior in Korea. And this is like a 20-minute chunk of the movie where we see the original versions of these people trying to fight off the Buraki, the big dragon, and his army, the Artox army. And he's got like these giant bloated frog-looking things carrying around like fireball launchers, and people are riding. They look like velociraptors, and there's like regular Western-style flying dragons shooting fireballs at people, and it's really dumb. They're looking for the girl who has the dragon-shaped mark on her shoulder, and because if they kill her, then the evil Buraki can get the spirit of the dragon to become the evil celestial dragon, destroying the world. Because they have
Where
to.
Have we seen that recently? Oh, in Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat, where they had the dumb marks. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And there's the good Imugi and the bad Imugi. The bad Imugi is Buraki, and so she has to like give the spirit to the good one so he can become the good celestial dragon and save the universe. It's really dumb. And it turns out that this kid is like the reincarnation, and the shop owner is the reincarnation of the wise old Asian guy who was teaching the other guy how to fight. And we finally come back to present time. Like present time, after he gets out of the flashback from the flashback and gets back into... And then he realizes, I need to find this girl, and he learns that her name is Sarah.
Oh,
so
no.
he's looking for a girl named Sarah in Los Angeles.
Oh,
and that's when the photographer comes in with the picture of the girl named Sarah, and he sees her, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's her," and she's got a dragon tattoo on her chest.
Oh, they wrote a book about her.
So he's got to try and find her, and the leader of the villain army comes back to fight, to kill her so that they can get the spirit for the dragon. And there's a lot of bad CG in this movie as we first see Buraki eating an elephant at a zoo, and the zookeeper goes to the police because he sees this, and they lock him up for being insane. Like, they have him in a straitjacket and everything because nobody believes him that this giant looking snake dragon thing was eating the elephants. So they commit him like immediately. Okay. Which is kind of weird. And then the girl's there for whatever reason. I don't even remember what it was. I watched this today, and there's so much that has already dumped, but it's just been dumped by my brain because this movie is... it's boring. Like, there's a lot of fighting going on, but it's like all over the top, explosions, and it's like Michael Bay's Wet Dream, and it's just boring. There's no stakes. It doesn't feel like there's any stakes.
How does it all turn out? Yeah.
They end up at the secret lair in what seems to be a different dimension. She's going to be sacrificed to the Buraki, and of course the guy has like this medallion, and he's like, I need to save her, and this like shockwave goes out and kills everybody there, except for the main bad guy and the girl and him. And the Buraki, of course. And so he kills the guy, the bad leader. I don't even remember if he had a name or not. That's how bad this is. And the Buraki shows up, and he's going to eat the girl. And then right before he eats the girl, the good one shows up, and they have the dragon war. And she sacrifices herself to give the spirit to the good one to turn him into the celestial dragon. And he kills the bad one, and then she dies. And that's the end of the movie. The guy gets basically stranded there. That's it. That's the end of the movie.
He's going to starve to death like Harry Potter and Dumbledore, like on the rocks.
Yeah.
They're like Harry Potter 6.
It's really bad and dumb. And I definitely see why they riffed this movie, because it was... not great, and it was pretty ripe for it. There was a lot of good stuff in there. There's during the main battle that's taking place in Los Angeles, like at the midpoint of this movie, they make the joke that it's the worst thing to happen to LA since Andy Dick.
Oh my God!
And then they're like, but Andy Dick is still worse, right? And they're like, oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's not a great guy.
Awful, an awful movie. Like, I see why I haven't watched it in a long time, because the movie itself is just blah.
Yeah, I can't. I honestly don't know if I've seen it. I've owned it for a long time. It's been 12 years, so it's like I've watched a lot of RiffTrax in those 12 years.
Yeah, like I know I watched it before because certain things I kind of remembered, but I've already brain dumped almost the whole plot of the movie.
You watched it today.
I watched it today, and it's still just gone. Like, I remember some of the riffs were really good. Like, I laughed a lot, but the Andy Dick thing was the best one in the whole thing because, Andy Dick is terrible. But
yeah,
we can move on to a somehow even worse movie.
But what are you talking about? Are you talking about? Are you talking about the place if you want to go bet on a dude effing an alligator? Money Plane.
Money Plane. This movie was bad.
This movie is awesome.
This movie is I hate this movie.
What?
This movie. Well, okay, I don't hate the movie, but I don't like it. This movie to me feels like a knockoff of a movie made by The Asylum. Like,
that's like,
The Asylum knocked off something, and then this one knocked off that version. So it's a knockoff of a knockoff.
Yeah,
like the only good thing in this movie is Kelsey Grammer's acting, and that's saying something.
Well, the thing is, okay, Kelsey Grammer. I guess we'll start with Kelsey Grammer since you brought him up. Kelsey Grammer could not care less.
No.
About his performance in this movie. Like he did it all just in one room, and with he's this super rich guy. What's his name? The Rumble.
The Rumble. I gotta bring up his full name though because it's something really dumb, and they were trying to figure out where the Rumble goes in his name. Yeah. That was one of the riffs.
Also known as, okay. One of his names is Grouch.
It's Oscar something Grouch.
No, his name's not. That can't possibly be it. It's look, if your name is Grouch, your nickname is not the Rumble. Your nickname is the Grouch.
Yeah.
It's also known as the Rumble.
Yes.
Right. So, but Kelsey Grammer is. And something I've now lived long enough to see Edge.
No, it's Darius Emmanuel Grouch III.
Also known as the Rumble. Okay, so Kelsey Grammer can't give he can't give a crap about his performance at all because it's Money Plane. I mean, he'll be like, Money Plane? Oh, I'm going to be in Money Plane.
Okay.
Where's my paycheck? It's so he shows up and does just the bare minimum, but his performances are still better than any other actor in the movie, to include the brothers of the director.
Yes, we've got. Okay, let's do a quick rundown on the cast of this movie. Okay. First, we have Adam Copeland, better known as everyone as Edge from WWE.
Edge, one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time.
Agreed. We got Kelsey Grammer. Thomas Jane is in this movie. Uh-huh. Denise Richards. And then Andrew Lawrence, Joey Lawrence, and Matthew Lawrence.
Yeah.
Whoa. The director of this movie was Andrew Lawrence. He wrote the screenplay of this movie. And he's in the movie as one of the crew.
He wrote the movie?
Yeah.
How is that possible? I thought a 12-year-old wrote this movie.
Well, it's Andrew Lawrence. I mean...
Okay.
Joey Lawrence is the concierge on the plane. And Matthew Lawrence... he has quite a performance in this movie as a cowboy. He's like JD something.
It is haunted ween. It is haunted ween level caliber of a performance.
Oh, it totally is.
At this Russian roulette.
Oh my gosh!
This is a professional actor with name recognition.
Yeah.
At that Russian roulette performance. First of all, the guy he's playing is an idiot. Okay,
Yes.
no one in their right mind would be that excited about playing Russian roulette.
No.
But like, okay. Anyway,
So, okay, Edge. I'm just gonna call him Edge. His name in the movie is like Jack or something, but I'm just gonna call him Edge because
yeah,
it's
Edge.
Edge. So Edge is working on a heist at the very start of this movie with his crew. He's got Iggy, Andrew Lawrence. He's the getaway driver. He's got his tech guy, and then somebody else. This other lady who's like the muscle.
Yeah, Hottie McSnickerpants is what we'll call her.
And they're trying to rob a museum. And they get in, and the painting's gone, and it turns out it was all like a setup and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
they barely escape from this.
Don't bother thinking about it. Oh, can we say something about the museum? How it's the most god-awful museum.
You mean how it's a warehouse or a factory or something?
How it's like a shipping center and like
yeah,
and like a business park in in like Louisiana.
Like they go to leave and Iggy he floors the pedal. He floors the pedal. He floors it in this van. They have a big white panel van, and he slams himself back against the seat like he's going 0 to 60 in 2 seconds, and like he's driving a Tesla or something. And then, the wheels make the burnout sound and everything, and it's oh my gosh, it's so bad. It's so lame. And then they're driving away and they're sitting in the back talking about what went wrong, and they don't know how it went wrong, and then he has to go see the Rumble.
He's got to go see the Rumble
because he was working for him, because he took a chance and bought all of his debt that he owed from gambling.
He bought up all his credit card debt.
Yeah, and then he says I took a shot and I bought all your debt, and then they make the joke, and I invested every cent of it into Quibi.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, how do you buy someone's debt? That doesn't make any sense to me. Or you pay it off? I'm pretty sure Edge didn't ask him to do that.
No.
They had a contract. Yeah, it'd be like, I bought all your debt. Well, thanks.
Yeah.
What? Did we have a consolidated loan thing? I mean, what the hell is this? You paid off all my bills, thanks, but I'm not going to work for you now, you ass.
Yeah. Well, that's
what are you going to do? Take me to court?
Plan. He's like, you work for me now, and he's like, I need you to go rob something for me. And he's like, okay, what is it? He's like, well, there's this rumor, and
this urban legend.
Yeah, it's about a plane that flies around, and it's got a casino in it. They call it the money plane.
They call it the money plane. Okay, can we talk about the logic of the concept of the money plane for a minute?
You can try. There's not much there, so.
Where is the plane going? Is it just up in the air for a predetermined amount of time? What's the destination? Why is there a casino on the plane?
It probably lands where it took off from, some private airfield somewhere.
Yeah, no, no. The undisclosed location.
Yes, we don't get a name for any location in this movie at all.
We don't.
There's the art museum, and there's the money plane, and there's the undisclosed location for the takeoff.
Yeah. So anyway, the Grouch, Kelsey Grammer, delivers the best line of the whole movie.
Just say
about
it.
Okay, I'm gonna say it'd be he turns and Edge is what's the money plane? They'd be like, oh, the money plane, you can go and it's all in international airspace, so there are no laws. You can bet on anything. And sorry, Twitch, you want to bet on a dude fucking an alligator? Money plane. What?
And then Bill is immediately like, no, pretty sure I don't want to do that. I did read in a review for this movie that somebody had the thought that, well, maybe he flubbed the line, but nobody wanted to dare tell him that he was wrong because, it's Frasier. And that maybe he was supposed to say a man fighting an alligator. Which...
a dude, again, sorry, Twitch, but a dude fucking an alligator, that's much better.
It is. It really is.
I mean,
it gives it more of a, this is a completely no rules, outlaw type thing that we're doing here. Because that's way more dangerous, I think, than just fighting an alligator.
Yeah, or last time, I promise, fucking an alligator.
Yes.
Okay. Oh my God.
But so he's like, well, let's say I don't do it, then what? And he's like, well, then I'm going to kill your family.
Or I'm going to not pay for your acting classes anymore, Ed, because you have one expression.
And it's that you're hearing somebody's ringtone go off on a cell phone somewhere.
Like, huh?
Is that my phone? Yeah. And then we get the title sequence for the movie after quite a long lead up.
Yeah, and, it has a late title sequence. Yeah.
Apparently, there were 4 writers for this movie because they make the joke that it took 4 people to come up with "What if Casino but fly?" And that's how this whole movie feels. Like it's terrible. Yeah. Like the whole thing, they have what is it, like $12 billion in Bitcoin or something,
it's like,
loaded on the plane, like on their own private server. They're like, that's not how cryptocurrency
It doesn't make any
works.
sense. That's not how Bitcoin works. It's not how money works. It's not how casino works. It's not how planes work.
So he wants him to steal all of the cryptocurrency from the plane. That's basically the job. And so they're going to go up and they're going to hack the servers and broadcast the encryption key and all of the cryptocurrency down to their man on the ground after they've flown over where he is.
All right. So,
yeah.
The idea, like, okay. So I know I brought it up before, but I just kind of want to know, like, where the plane's going, where it's where it's taken off from. Where is it going? Like, what? Why have it on a plane? I mean, like, these are questions
you're doing
you're
the whole,
asking yourself the whole
international airspace, that's the same as international waters, right?
Yeah, you go out to the nation of Hawaii.
Money
welcome,
boat.
Connor.
Could have been money boat.
Yeah, and then just do it out there. Or if you, like... my joke invention. I tried to formulate a joke live on Twitch and it did not work. Be like, okay. I was like, okay, what's a place I can insult that has no rules? I've already started talking. I got to come up with something. Nothing's coming up. Well, I guess this one's screwed. That's what just happened.
Yes, you can listen to Dave flop live right here on Twitch. So the whole plan is Edge is going to take over the cockpit, and they're going to have the tech guy is going to be up there with him, and he gives him the stupid code name McGillicuddy, and they're just like, yes, a fine Irishman, and he's an African American guy, so that's kind of the joke there. And then the muscly girl, she's going to be a flight attendant on the plane. And she's going to help find the server room because she's going to have access to these places. And
she's going to kill many people.
Yes, especially guys who try to have their way with her.
Yeah, she's gonna. Okay, there's a joke about like when she boards the money plane in her highly inappropriate stewardess outfit, where like I guess where she was like hiding like her weapon or something.
Yeah.
And she was the joke. The joke is basically is that she was hiding it in her lady parts, and it's like, did we really? How did you convince the actress to do that?
I don't know. Probably the same way they convinced the one lady in Squid Game to do it.
I haven't seen Squid Game.
Yeah, there's one extra disturbing scene in that movie, or that series rather.
Well, I mean, I know it's about PlayStation people, but the thing is, like, I started watching it, and like I got 5 minutes in, like, this is stupid, and I noped out. And also, before we start talking about money playing again, one more thing about Squid Game, it's one of the things that's really bugs me about all these about all these Chinese. About all these Chinese shows that are on Netflix now,
or
is that
Korean.
you watch them. Oh, are they Korean? Well,
yes.
A lot. Well, is Squid Game Korean?
Yes.
Well, there are a lot of Chinese shows on Netflix now, and you watch them, and the dub, they dub it over to English, okay, but they also have subtitles, and the subtitles don't match. Like they kind of like sort of get what they're saying, but it doesn't match what the dub's saying.
Yeah,
and
it's more
like
the subtitles are more for
thing.
the original language.
Yeah.
So like you can watch it in the original Korean with subtitles, or you can listen to it in English. If you turn on the subtitles, you're getting the subtitles of the Korean script.
Okay.
And what they're
but the
saying.
Thing is,
and
like,
if you...
that's not what they're saying. Like it's kind of close, but that is not what they're saying. And
yeah,
it's
no,
like the most
it's weird.
Distracting thing.
Anyway, back to money plane.
Yeah.
They all board the money plane. They have a wristband that's connected to their bank account, and that's what they use to pay for everything on the money plane. They get in there and they're in like the readying area for them to take off, and they get the rules of the money plane that basically you can't like kill people unless it's part of the game. You can't like injure people unless it's part of the game, and hands off to stewardesses or flight attendants. I think they call them stewardesses in this.
But like unless it's I completely forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, continue. That's the second time that's happened to me in the podcast. Live on Twitch.
Yes.
I'm not an idiot, guys. I promise.
He just didn't have enough time to prepare today for it.
Yeah.
So they get on there, and the first game is Texas Hold'em Poker. And Edge is winning. And he's like, all right, it's time to enact the plan. Hey, I'm going to go lay down in my cabin for a little bit. And
Yeah, where?
I'm going to give
Where
access
is your
to
cabin?
McGillicuddy here. And so then McGillicuddy is the one that's stuck playing all of these games. And right after Texas Hold'em, the next game is Russian Roulette. And
this might be the worst scene in cinematic history.
it's between the cowboy, Matthew Lawrence, JD, whatever his name is, and McGillicuddy, because everybody else like leaves the table because they know what's coming, and he doesn't. So he's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll play the next game," and they put like this red tarp down on the poker table, and everybody comes in wearing those ponchos that you used to wear at SeaWorld and stuff.
Or like
in
at
the
a
Splash
Gallagher
Zone
concert.
Yeah, or at a Gallagher show, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, Gallagher.
I love Gallagher.
And they they bring out the gun, and they're like, yeah, the game is roulette of the Russian persuasion.
Shut
And-
up.
And he tries to they give the gun to McGillicuddy for him to go first, and
he's like,
JD's
nope.
like, I want to go first. And he's like, you've won this game
Come
enough that you got the right to go second. And he's like, no, I want to go first. He's like, you have to go second. And the guy's just like, oh, no, if he wants to go first, by all means, he can go first. And, like, they're sliding the gun back and forth on the table. And he finally just grabs it, and he's like, all right, I'm going to go first. I'm undefeated at this game. He puts the gun up to his head, and bam, dead.
Blows. And then, like, you can see, but then, like, it's like the worst kind of, like...
He topples backwards.
I
in
don't know
his
if I want to
chair.
call it dark comedy. It's just stupid.
And like his legs are twitching in the air.
The waggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like screw you, dude. It's like, you know, I've already said the
So
F word
bad.
3 times on this. But it's like that's like you're making everybody in Haunted Wing just like shake. You're making Hanks in Haunted Wing just like shake his head. Be like, oh, even I wouldn't be that dang stupid.
What a coinky dink.
You know, what a coinky dink.
So then they, kind of cut back to Edge, who just is at this point is camping out in front of the pilot's cabin. He's just sitting there waiting for Iggy. What's her name? Isabel, something. Iggy's the other guy. There's too many just blah names in this. At least it's not like they only spun the stupid name generator once, and that was Darius Emmanuel Grouch III.
Yeah, and they spun it quite a few times for that.
Yeah. And she brings the captain his dinner, and Edge knocks him out right away and ties him up, and they dump him in the bathroom. And then Edge goes in the cabin to fly the plane.
About the co-pilot.
Forgot about how do you forget that every single flight on a big plane like that has a co-pilot? Like, come on, man. And the co-pilot's a big dude. He's pretty tall.
Yeah,
he barely fits standing up.
Yeah, and they have a little wrestling match in there.
Yeah. Edge finally beats him by basically slamming his head back and forth between the seat and the turnbuckle. I mean the wall of the cabin.
Yeah.
And then he takes over the money plane. And then they go back to McGillicuddy, who's stuck betting on all these horrible things that are happening. Like the first one, they have this little tablet. Everybody gets a tablet and they're watching a live feed. And there's 2 Russian guys sitting in a room drinking. And they're calling out numbers in rubles. And finally one of the guys gets up and slices the other guy's hand off with a meat cleaver or something. Or an axe. And McGillicuddy won because he got close to the amount that it would take for the guy to chop the other dude's hand off.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and then he wagers on a man fighting a cobra. And
not a guy fucking a cobra?
No, fighting a cobra.
Okay.
And he's 17 minutes. And he's like, oh, okay. That's very aggressive. And the guy died at 16 point something minutes. So he was closest, so he won. He literally keeps winning all of these terrible things that he's forced to bet on. A man versus shark and stuff like that. It's really dumb. This whole thing is dumb.
This whole thing's dumb. So anyway, it turns out I don't remember how they find out, but I think they have a guy on the ground who's saying that
Iggy is on the ground.
Apparently you're set up by the Rumble.
Yeah. And this is where Thomas Jane comes in. Because he has probably the weirdest... He's flying a drone that's carrying a handgun. To, take out the people who are trying to kill the crew member on the ground, Iggy. Because he wants to just steal everything. I think he told him he could keep the cash, but he wants all the cryptocurrency. And, so we get some action in quotes with the drone flying around shooting people. It's so dumb. I know I've been saying that. It's just
it's written by. It really does feel like it was written by an 8-year-old or someone who's. I mean, 8's probably a little too young. Probably someone who's 13.
Yeah.
Who doesn't really understand things, you know. But it's like, oh, wouldn't this be so cool, right? But anyway, they eventually they set up like Edge had put a recording device under under Fraser's table, which is like the most god awful, like hammer it together yourself with like leftover pieces of rotted lumber table at this rich guy's house.
Yeah.
And it was huge. And just like, I don't know, be like how they didn't see this. And he basically like cons Fraser into confessing that like I'm this guy, I'm Darius.
I'm taking down the money plane.
I'm taking down the money plane, right? And they get that recording. And Joey Lawrence. Have we talked about Joey Lawrence's hair?
Or you mean the lack thereof?
Yes. Have we talked about that yet?
No, we haven't.
Okay. It's bad.
Yes.
It's very bad. It's wow. He may as well just have shaved it. Like these are clearly like I don't know if it's plugs or if it's a bad haircut, but it's real bad.
It could be a mixture of both.
Somebody should have just like, hey, look, we're making this movie. I know we're making, and I know I'm paying you $5, and you're my brother. Please cut your damn hair.
Yeah, just shave it. Just shave it, bro, please.
It'll be fine. It grows back. I cut my hair 2 years ago because I'm a dumbass, and it's all back now.
It's all back.
But,
it looks normal.
Yeah.
Luscious flowing locks again.
Yes, that's correct. It's like it never happened.
It's the same device that they actually put on the van at the beginning of the movie when the crew is like, we were set up. They find one of those same similar hockey puck-sized devices on the bottom of the bumper of the van. And I'm bringing this up because he sees it and he smashes it. He goes, shit, and he smashes it. And Mike says, that's the same thing I do to my phone every time someone with an Apple likes one of my text messages. But they use the same device on Fraser, and they broadcast it to the people running the money plane. Yeah, and they send a hit squad out after them.
Yeah. Apparently the people who run the money plane are more powerful than Kelsey Grammer or the Rumble. Like this guy who has nicknamed the Rumble, you would think he's like, he's I'm the baddest motherfucker on the planet, right?
He says that a few times. He pulls a Scarface and he stands there with the machine gun as they're all running in after him.
Yeah, and but he got taken down by just some random goons.
Yep, which is kind of good. It's kind of the best.
The money plane.
Yeah. And then Edge and his crew decides they're not going to keep any of the money. And they're like, well, how are we going to get rid of it? And he's like, we're going to distribute it by hand. And they literally are like throwing it out the open plane door as they're jumping out of the plane.
Why didn't they keep the money?
Because they decided that they needed to go back to the people it was stolen from. All the victims of these terrible people on the planes. Because all the people on the plane are really awful people. Like, Edge was taking the place of some human trafficking guy who was getting shit all over by these other people who are, arms dealers, and they provide weapons that all these children are dying from, and the other guy's like a major player in the drug running operation, and they're all just really horrible people, and they're like crapping all over Edge's character because he's pretending to be this other guy that they randomly killed at some point in a past mission, and because they're just lucky like that, I guess. But they decide that the people need the money back, and they all jump out of the plane, and then we see Edge playing with his child and their dog and Denise Richards, and he's got the painting in the background that he finally stole from the beginning of the movie. And that's, what is it, the Disturbed Duckling or whatever? What was the name of it?
I don't know.
And they're like, what's disturbing about the painting of that duck? And he's like, that's not brown paint. Because the guy didn't make it with paint.
He made it with his poo.
He made it with his poo. And that's Money Plane.
And that's Money Plane.
Now, we have to get to the important question here, Dave.
Yeah, what's the important question?
Would you watch Money Plane on Rift?
Yeah, I'm going to have to say no, because I've known about Money Plane for about a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had every reason to see it. It's available.
Yeah.
But I didn't. So I'm gonna say no. I wouldn't watch this movie on Riff, because if I would have done it. But I'm really glad RiffTrax did it, because it was outstanding. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I don't think I would watch it on Rift either. One little.
I'm just embarrassed for Edge. You know, it's like he's like he's one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. And like, look, I've lived long enough to see Edge share a scene with Kelsey Grammer, and one of the lines exchanged being, "You want to bet on a dude fucking an alligator? Money Plane." Yeah.
Here's an interesting little tidbit, real quick. The budget for this movie was $838,109.
I was about to say, wow.
And apparently,
and it shows.
Apparently, this movie did have a box office draw.
Wait, it was in the movies?
Of $618.
It must have been in one theater time.
It came out July 10th of 2020. So it literally had to have been one theater. But yeah, like, $618.
Yeah, they must have rented the Chinese theater that they blew up in Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah. Oh, so
Money Plane was dumb. But it was a great riff. Like, yeah, I was cracking up all the way through it.
I am super glad they did this one.
And of course, it's another Just the Jokes release.
Yeah.
And they talked about potentially going back and doing more of the Just the Jokes releases in a year than they've been doing. And this release right here, like, we've talked about it and how we want more of these because they can do, you know, more recent movies that they don't have access to doing VODs of, and it's only, you know, $4 or whatever for these.
And they can do like and they can go back to like experimenting with like different kinds of like crazy things and movies, like you know because like I've seen all the B movies. I've seen them all, even if I haven't seen them all.
They're all very similar.
I've seen them all. Yeah.
Now, this is the third Just the Jokes release that we got this year.
Yeah.
Because we started off with Wonder Woman back in March, and then we had Face Off,
which was great
in June, which is
a
another
Riff of the Year
riff.
contender.
And now we've got Money Plane. Like,
yep.
I really hope we get at least one more this year for something.
I hope we get a few more.
I'm
not
not sure
more.
what we'd get. I think the most likely outcome is we'll get one more Just the Jokes this year.
Well, I mean, that's the average. That's the average it's been for a while.
And I mean, it's halfway through October.
Yeah.
And this is, when we start getting all of, where
we
just got
getting all the
It's the live show
season.
for Hobgoblins just came out this weekend. So if you donated for the Kickstarter, you can go get your free copy of Hobgoblins if you haven't already. If you did it at the right level, that is. Or otherwise, go buy it if you weren't able to go see it in theaters, because I know a lot of places still, you don't really have that as an option. So now you can pick that up. But we're going to start getting, in a couple weeks here, like a month, they'll start putting out Christmas stuff. We'll get, usually get a bunch of Christmas shorts and a few movies that are kind of themed around the holidays. And, so hopefully we get at least one more Just the Jokes. At least one more, because the first one was Bridget and Mary Jo, even, and it was Wonder Woman, 1984. So, like, we're getting good stuff with this. And like Dave said, the Face Off Just the Jokes is so
Face Off,
good.
that's outstanding.
It is so good.
So it's really good. I enjoyed it. I believe we talked about it extensively in an episode that unfortunately didn't make it to the feed, but I enjoyed that quite a bit. It was just like, it felt like the high energy, like, you set everything up, you sit back and you watch a movie with the RiffTrax. It's just great. I was like, oh yes, this is so awesome. I love it.
Yeah, it really takes you back to back when that was
simpler
pretty much all
time.
we had. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. But that's gonna do it for us this week, guys.
Nice.
If
Do we have any homework assignments?
if you enjoyed, think about it. Think about it for a second while I'm going through our little spiel. Come up with something
Okay.
good.
All right.
If you enjoyed the podcast, you can support us over at patreon.com/TrueBlueRiffCast. You can support us for as little as $2 a month, the cost of 2 shorts. And I posted the game code for our custom RiffTrax Quiplash 3 game that was created by myself and Matthew J. Elliott. They did play that over on their Patreon at RiffTrax, and they just put that up today. But I posted the code there first. Before that, I've made it available at some other places since then. But you guys got it early. The patrons got it early. And we put up what we're going to be doing, like our final lineup. I put up on Thursday because, they knew it, and I didn't give that information to anybody else until earlier today. So you'll get early peeks at what we're working on and all that good kinds of things over at patreon.com/TrueBlueRiffCast. And did you come up with anything good, Dave, for homework for next week?
Yeah, 'tis the season. Halloween. Let's talk about some Harry Potter.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about like our favorite Harry Potter riffs. I mean, obviously there are 8 of them.
Yeah. I
We're
don't
not
think we're
gonna
going to
watch
limit
all
it.
of
I
them.
think we'll just do like an overview.
Yeah,
of
an overview.
Harry
yeah.
Potter.
Yeah, Harry Potter. Because I'll tell you what, man. I still maintain that RiffTrax is at its best with Harry Potter. So next week is going to be our big Harry Potter extravaganza.
Cool. That sounds good to me. And if there's a new VOD release, we'll talk about that a little bit as well. But until then, guys, I'm Jeremy. You can find me at PBandAwesome on Twitter. You can find me pretty much anywhere at PBandAwesome. You can keep following me right here on Twitch. I do randomly do some game streaming on my days off if I have any during the week. And you can send me emails, jeremy@trueblueriffcast.com.
And I'm Dave. You can check me out on Twitter at dchadwickauthor. You can get my book Monkey on Amazon.com. And check me out at davechadwick.info.
Yeah, and don't forget to follow the podcast on Twitter at TBRiffcast. And we'll see you guys next week.
Rock till you die.
Rock till you die.